Hey, Motorman here. I'm at Gator Harley-Davidson, and I'm going to take some motorcycles for a test ride and review. Alright, I'm going to take this street rod. This is 750. I'm going to be taking this for a ride. This is a sporting standard from Harley-Davidson, and it looks, to me, it looks much different from just about any other Harley, with possibly the styling of the tank that is kind of similar to other Harley-Davidson motorcycles. This is the bike that they're trying to get the younger rider into, get into Harley-Davidson dealership. And I got Marianne Hamilton here to help me out. She's going to tell me what's the MSRP on this bike?
$8,699.
$86.99, not bad for this class of motorcycle. And the bike does have a 3.5 gallon gas tank and 27-degree rake. Wheelbase is 59.4 inches, and it weighs about 525 pounds. It's got the small, I don't know if you even know if you'd call that a fairing. I don't think it does much to block the wind, but it does give you some wind protection. I would consider a motorcycle like this to be a round-town motorcycle, commuter, and something you can have a little bit of fun with. Of course, you can commute with a 250, but I'm betting this would be a lot more fun. I like the shocks. It looks like they've done some serious work to the suspension to make sure that it is a good handling motorcycle. And next, of course, I'm going to take it for a ride. All right, my first impression, it feels like the muffler kind of sticks out pretty far. It's up against my leg, so yeah, they didn't think that out too well. Adjusting the mirrors here. And I don't see a tachometer. I would think this motorcycle is supposed to rev to about 9,000 RPM, but no tach. And my knees are up pretty high, so I guess you call this extreme mid-controls. And I'm sure the reason they've got those pegs up so high is to give you more ground clearance. I think they say this bike has like a 42-degree lean angle. Plenty of power. I'm getting a little bit of vibration through the grips, but that's to be expected in this size motorcycle. ABS is an option on this bike. I'm not sure if this one has it. Shift is very smooth. And again, when I put my leg down on the right side, that muffler is right up against it. I'm guessing that's a pretty big heat shield, because otherwise you'd be burning your leg every time you put your feet down. The rev limiter cut in on me, but I couldn't tell you at what RPM, since I don't see a tach on this bike. So this motorcycle is competing with a lot of bikes in this middleweight range, and they're all priced within that, I guess at the very low end, $7,800 and up to about 10 grand. In that middleweight range, it's very competitive, and Harley would like to get some people to take a look at their motorcycles, get some younger people in. Of course, that's needed, not just by Harley-Davidson, but at Indian as well. Got to get some younger people in there, and one of the ways of doing it is offer motorcycles that are not your typical heavyweight touring motorcycle. For a middleweight motorcycle, there are quicker bikes in this price range, a lot of them. So if your thing is to get the most performance for your dollar, well, this probably wouldn't be the best choice. But if you like the styling of the bike and you want to get a Harley-Davidson in the middleweight range, well, this might be the bike for you. It's got plenty of power. Ride is pretty good. It's not a sport bike. Like I said, it's more of a standard, and the handling and ride aren't a par with other standard motorcycles. Bike that immediately comes to mind would be Bonneville T100s. I think they're starting around 9,500 or 10 grand. They do offer, the Bonneville does offer a bit more power. But if you don't have a Triumph dealer, which, let's face it, there aren't near as many Triumph dealers as there are Harley-Davidson dealers, so for service or if you're taking a long ride, that's something to consider. You can get these serviced at any Harley-Davidson dealership. And these bikes have been around now for a couple of years. They sell quite a few of them in the European market, and there are factories out of the country that make these, but the ones you buy here are made in the USA. Once again, a lot of sand on that corner. I was expecting that. Brakes are very good. Riding position, I'm leaned over forward just a bit. Not too much. If you want to be perfectly upright on this bike, there are risers you could purchase that would allow you to do that. I'm not used to the way this bike steers as compared to the big touring bikes I'm usually on, so it's a little quicker to turn from left to right, right to left. In other words, the pressure needed to counter steer this motorcycle is a lot less than on a big touring bike. And that's something I'd get used to at about probably an hour's ride. But I definitely say this motorcycle is worth a look if you're a new rider, you're just getting into riding, you want something for around town or something that's not too heavy. Something to start off with that's, you know, you can take out on the highway if you want to. I'm sure it cruises at highway speeds with no problem. In fact, I always recommend to people that if you take the beginner course on those little 250 bikes and you do okay with them, you probably don't want to buy a 250 to start off with because you're going to grow out of it really quick. You're probably better off with a mid-size motorcycle. Now, if you flunk that beginner course and you have to take it 2 or 3 times, well, if you're still thinking about riding a motorcycle, yeah, you should probably not get anything bigger than what you've flunked the course on. So many riders get out of the beginner course and they get their license and they buy the biggest, heaviest motorcycle they could find. That's crazy. There's very few people that get out of that or finish that course and get their license stamped that should actually be on anything bigger than this motorcycle. By the way, this is water cooled. Not the first time Harley's water cooled motorcycles, but that may be the wave of the future with the EPA cracking down so much. There's going to come a time when every motorcycle is going to be water cooled. By the way, if you like these road tests, I try to do a couple of them a month, 2 or 3. I hope you subscribe, click the little bell so you'll be notified each time I come out with a new video. I'm doing probably 2 or 3 videos a week. Some of them are just motorcycle tips. Others are all kinds of things that I've learned through the years of riding. So please hit that subscribe button.